Hello YouTube, it's Rob from Maxwells Grass Cutting Services based in the northeast of England. I hope everybody is well and having a great day. It's that time of year where the leaf clearing season is upon us, and this is a little job I've got to do today. It's clearing a whole section of leaves which fall down onto quite a steep embankment lawn, and bag them up and then take them round to the compost heap round the front of the premises. This is a fortnightly customer that it's like a block of apartments, and I do about 22 visits a year. I do the leaves at the beginning of November and then I come back at the end of November. I'm a little bit late this year because of the weather, but I think we've all had that problem, haven't we? So what am I using? I'm using the Stihl BR 600 backpack leaf blower. Now, I bought this 2 years ago for about £550, and they've almost held the price. I think you can get it a little bit cheaper now, but some places a little bit more expensive. What do I think of the backpack blower? You can't argue with its strength, its power. The books say it's 2.5 times as strong as the BG Stihl 86 handheld leaf blower. I wouldn't argue with that. I think that's probably right. And when you're doing big leaf clearing jobs like I'm doing here, it makes life so much easier. Is it a nice to have, or is it you definitely need it? I think it's more of a nice to have. I'm going to be brutally honest. This has been out the bag about 10 times since I bought it, on these leaf clearing jobs and then on big hedge jobs. So it's more of a nice to have, not a must have. And these are my other little weapons of choice: my Fiskar leaf rake and the Darlac leaf grabbers. Somebody told me the Darlac leaf grabbers have gone up to 30 quid now. I think it's still good value, you know. Mine are just hanging on in there. I think I've had them 2.5 years, and that was the best 20 quid I've ever spent. Now, I've got a confession. My tripod is broken. I bought a cheap tripod for me GoPro. I've got a second-hand old GoPro. And so I'm going to have to treat myself to a new tripod. But this was the bags empty and now they're full. And I've only got 3 dumpy bags because I did a job the other day and I haven't emptied the waste on them because it's not quite a full load. So I've got 3 left. So what I'll be doing today is filling the 3 bags, carrying it down the bottom of the field, and then putting it down into the composting bins to make some leaf mould for next year. Yeah, it's just a repetitive day today. I think I count about 33 bags I fill on this job, and it takes me about 4.5, 5 hours, and then I come back at the end of November and do it again. But what I find is it can be quite frustrating. You go over it once, past, you go over it again, it looks lovely. 20 minutes later, the trees deposited leaves again, so you can never get it perfect. But if you get sort of 90% of the leaves up, you're doing really well. So this backpack blower, 10 kilos it weighs, which is 22 pounds. And when it's on your back, it sits comfortable, but when you're going on full power, the left shoulder strap tends to pull away because of the force of the blower, and that makes it a little bit uncomfortable. But apart from that, thoroughly enjoy it. It's an easy start. It uses the petrol and oil mix. I use the E5 petrol, which has got less water in. It's a more expensive one. I'm told by the experts that that's better for your machines than the E10. But I bought this when I had a few quid in the bank, and I paid 550 quid, as I've said. Would I advise you to buy one? If you're doing lots of leaf clearance jobs, yeah, buy it. But if you're not, a handheld blower would do this. Not as quick, not as easy, but you can, handheld blow it into areas, then use your Fiskar leaf rake, which I love. I think that's a brilliant investment. And then just get them up with the Darlac leaf grabbers. The only time I use this other than when I'm doing leaf clearance is when we do the Leylandii hedges. I feel it works a treat there. It's a bit stronger than the BG86 or the Husqvarna 525, I think it is. They're the 2 handheld blowers I've got. Now this is the garages where she's asked me to clean the leaves up, and as you can see, they're wet through the tarmac driveways. But this is so powerful that it not only cleans the sort of leaves away, it almost washes the driveway, and it gives it such a lovely finish when it's done. So I'm not sure that the handheld blower would do such a good job here. I'd have to get the brush out and brush it, and that's not what you want to be doing. So it comes into its own in the autumn, and it comes into its own during the big hedge jobs I take on with Ian over the winter. And when we're cleaning up the land, I've blown it back under the hedge or whatever hedge we're doing. It just works a lot better than the handheld blowers, especially when the ground's soaking wet, and these leaves are wet, the ground's soaking wet. So am I pleased I bought it? Yes, I certainly am. Would I sell it? No, I don't think I would. I think if it comes out half a dozen times a year, maybe it's a little bit more. Why would it, I'd probably get 400 quid for it. And you know what happens? As soon as you sell something, you can. I wish I had my backpack blower. So for me, I bought it, I'll keep it, I'll look after it, I try and keep it nice and clean. Once it's finished for the winter, I run it dry and then just store it nice in the garage at home, and then that's it really. Don't do anything else. It's not rocket fuel, is it? It's just quite simple stuff. But yeah, you can see it does a brilliant job, and it makes your life a bit easier, and I'm all for that. But if you haven't got the money, don't worry, just stick with your handheld blower. I tell you what I do see when I'm driving around the northeast, I see gardeners doing sort of mow, blow and goes and garden tidy ups using this instead of a handheld blower, and you have it, hanging on one strap. That's not for me. I just think it's too much of a big bit of kit for doing the in and out jobs. This is here just a side on view showing you how powerful it is with a bunch of wet leaves. What I do is I get it to a level, and then when they're all in a pile, I just pick them up. It saves fuel blowing them all the way down. And just use the leaf grabbers. But we're coming to the end now. I just want to say thanks very much for watching. Appreciate your support. Got loads more content coming out. I'll explain about that on the next video. And now this weather's been horrific at the moment. We've had 4 storms in as many bloody weeks, haven't we? Each one's got a name. I think the last one's Storm Debbie. Well, Debbie's been causing chaos in the northeast. We've lost loads of days' work, but we just have to take it on the chin, and hopefully we can, make it up between now and Christmas and then in the new year. But I'm sure I'm not the only one who's feeling not feeling the pinch, but you do get a bit fed up when you're sat at home and you can't go out and graft because it's raining all the time, and the ground is just too wet to just take on some of the jobs that we've got booked in, me and Ian, over the winter. But I'm sure we'll get there, so keep smiling. And I'm just going to show you the finished job of the back area. I finished it about an hour and a half ago, and then I come and did this area, and then you can see the trees dropped some more on it. But when I come back in November, that'll be great. It'll look lovely. So thanks very much, all the best, and remember, when the green gold's growing, keep mowing. It's not growing at the moment, but it won't be long, I promise you. Take care, see you soon, all the best now.